Please be seated. Go ahead and sit down if you can find a seat. President Sadat, Prime Minister Begin, Egyptian friends, Israeli friends, American friends. This is one of those evenings that it's been hard for me to stay seated also. I've been so excited. Most times, most of the times in history, when a peace treaty was signed, one nation has been a victor and the other nation has been vanquished. One nation has won, the other nation has lost. Today we've signed a peace treaty when both nations have won. This is indeed a joyous occasion. We've prayed for peace, and we have worked for peace. And now we humbly give thanks to God that we can celebrate the beginnings of peace in the Middle East. I've gotten to know these two men on my right in the last 18 months, sometimes too well. We've spent days and days together, hours and hours together, planning, arguing, debating, negotiating, and I've come to know them and to respect them, to form a friendship, a sense of brotherhood, and even love with both of them. They are men of great courage, great sensitivity, great patriotism and statesmanship. Men who've never feared to face difficult questions and seek persistently for the answers. They've been men who have inspired me and who have been inspired by the people in their own great nations whom they represent. The peace that was born today has a meaning that comes down to us through many years or generations, even centuries. In ancient days, God promised Abraham that from his seed would come many nations. And as you know, that promise has been fulfilled. Yet, for much too long, the people of Israel and the people of Egypt, two of the nations of the children of Abraham, trusting in the same God, hoping for the same peace, knew only enmity between them. That time, thank God, is now at an end. Now, after 30 years, 4 wars, countless deaths, terrible anguish, we can see a new era ahead. An era, we hope, in which violence no longer dominates the Middle East, and the just concerns of all of us can find a peaceful solution to the problems that we share, and a peaceful expression of the hopes and dreams of people who look to us for leadership. The path for peace has brought us a long way in a short time. It was only 16 months ago that President Sadat made his extraordinary and historic journey to Jerusalem. He was received there by Prime Minister Begin and was followed by Prime Minister Begin's equally historic trip to Ismailia. Their vision and their courage stirred hopes in the hearts of people throughout the world. The distance we've come since then is little short of miraculous. There were difficult moments, many difficult moments, times when the differences seemed impossible to overcome. But at each of those times, just a few simple realities summoned us to renewed effort. First of all, the knowledge that the people of Egypt and the people of Israel, no matter what the leaders might have done, deeply and passionately desired peace. Second, the awareness that the process which we had initiated was the only practical route to progress. Third, the obligation that was felt to those who have suffered so much, to the young, to the old, and to future generations. And I think above all, the depth of our common faith in a just and a merciful God. These things sustained us, and they brought us here tonight. I would like to note here a simple fact, that when others could not or would not move to end the seemingly endless tragedy of the Middle East, two men, President Anwar al-Sadat and Prime Minister Menachem Begin, dared to think the unthinkable, dared to do what others feared could not be done, dared to seize history in their hands and to turn history toward peace. And I'm thankful to them both. Theirs is the vision of the psalmist who said, "Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity." But this is an achievement not just of leaders, but of peoples, strong and creative peoples, proud of past heritage and present achievements, and wise enough to know that future well-being can be assured only through cooperation and a very difficult element of mutual trust. Tonight, we commemorate not an end, but a beginning. For a treaty between Egypt and Israel is but the first step along a long and a rough and a narrow and a very difficult road. We hope that the Palestinians and others will soon join us in our efforts to make this treaty the cornerstone of a comprehensive peace, a true and a lasting peace, a just peace for the entire Middle East. I welcome and invite those who have so far held back, for whatever motive they might honor, to join us in the future. The way is long and the way is hard, but peace is the way. We share a vision of a time when all the people of the Middle East may turn their energies back to the works of life. When young people can marry and start families and have a hope of seeing and knowing their own children's children. When the old can end their lives quietly after witnessing many a gentle spring. We pray for that time, and we shall continue to work for that time. This is a season of renewal, when the earth brings forth life. The Quran tells us of a prophet and a king of Israel for whom God's power made the violent wind blow tamely. The Old Testament tells us the words of that same king, the words of King Solomon, David's son. For everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. For centuries, the people of Israel were dispersed around the world, often despised and persecuted. For centuries, the people of Egypt suffered under foreign domination. Only in the past generation have these two proud and ancient peoples again become independent nations. But that generation, to use the words of King Solomon, has also been a time to die, to pluck up that which was planted, a time to kill, a time of breaking down, a time to mourn, a time of weeping, a time to lose, a time to hate, and a time for war. We pray that the season of weeping is past, and to continue the words of that same king, that now will come a time to heal, a time to plant, a time to build up, a time to laugh, a time to dance, a time to embrace, a time to love. We pray to God that at last the children of Abraham have come to a time of peace. And now I would like to propose a toast to the President of the Arab Republic of Egypt, Anwar al-Sadat, and to the Prime Minister of the State of Israel, Menachem Begin, to the great peoples they serve, the people of Egypt and the people of Israel, now joined together in hope, and to the cause we all serve, salam, shalom, and to peace.